same car that I was driving when I was at university. It used to cost £35 to fill up the tank. It's a really old car, as you can see. Now it costs almost £60, so it's doubled. Still going, look, 63, 64, 65, 66. £66 and 76 pence to fill this up, and I promise you it used to be £35 to fill this up. So that's crazy. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. 大家好，我是戴淑萱. Today we're talking about the recent cost of living crisis and how it's affecting people in the UK. This is of course a global problem too, because the causes of inflation, like supply chains and energy prices, are global. Today's episode is a little like an economics lesson, and it'll also give you a bit of background about the UK and some English listening practice. So let's get right to it. So what caused the current inflation issue? Initially, it was triggered by the wholesale price of gas going up, and that was because gas supplies were down. The winter before the last one was unusually cold, meaning that more gas stores were used up. Lower wind speeds also meant there was less wind power, so more gas had to be burned instead. There was also more demand for gas across the world. Petrol prices are up 20% at the moment because demand has increased around the world since the COVID restrictions were lifted. Fun fact for you guys, I've actually been driving this car for almost 12 years. It's the same car that I was driving when I was at university. It used to cost £35 to fill up the tank. It's a really old car, as you can see. Now it costs almost £60, so it's doubled. Still going, look, 63, 64, 65, 66. £66 and 76 pence to fill this up, and I promise you it used to be £35 to fill this up. So that's crazy. So how is the cost of gas related to the pandemic? After such a long gap of not being able to make use of oil during the pandemic, many retailers now want it. It's called pent-up demand. And at this crisis moment, people have been boycotting oil from Russia because of the Ukraine invasion. They're saying, we don't want your oil anymore. That means there's less oil, less supply, and increased demand. This is why we see £2 per gallon of diesel. Heavy goods vehicles companies are paying enormous prices for their basic fuel. This means the costs are passed on. We say costs are passed on to mean that the consumer has to pay the extra price for their products. Furthermore, because people have disliked fossil fuels for many years now, there are also not many people producing the oil. The OPEC, or oil-producing countries, also tend to get together and fix the price, meaning the price might be being manipulated. Many other places don't want to get involved with producing fuels because it feels morally wrong, so there are fewer and fewer contributors to the supply of fossil fuels. Because of COVID, a significant percentage of the population can actually pay these higher prices. They've been what we call compulsory savers. But it is thought that this will run out as time goes by, and this will cause stagflation. Stagflation means a period where inflation is high, economic growth is slow, and unemployment is high, so the willingness of the population to pay for expensive goods goes down. So governments have got a problem. They would like to switch off the buying at high prices, and usually the way to do that is to increase interest rates. But that may not work this time, probably because there's less appetite for saving. People have been saving whether they wanted to or not. They had a chance for 2 years to save. Just because the interest rates are high and they could save more money saving, it's less likely to change their behaviour this time. In the 1950s, if people had high interest rates, they'd stick their money in the bank and wait, and it would become more money. But now people are generally less bothered. It's also a case now that investing in shares can be more profitable than leaving your money in a bank. In the past, it was considered risky and people didn't invest so much, but now more and more people are willing to invest. So this is one of our new teachers, Tom, and you've been living in London for almost 11 years. I'm just wondering, have you noticed the cost of living increase?
I have, yes. Like regular items I like to buy. To give you an example, like eggs have gone up in price, sometimes double or triple in cost. And it's just that pressure of everyday items. They are more expensive now. So this is half a kilo of cheddar cheese, and it's £6.25.
This meat actually has a security tag on it to prevent people from stealing it.
Yes, and I also have this ribeye steak, which is £7.25 now, and they've put a security tag on this.
I don't know if you guys know what a meal deal is, but they're pretty popular in the UK. Basically, it's a sandwich, a snack, and a drink for £3 as far as we remember, but
Cost of living has risen this to £3.50. So a pint of milk, they used to be 50p, but cost of living has risen this now to 80p.
And guys, it's £5 for some butter, this one.
So what we have seen today is it's not just food going up in price. Whether you're going to work, school, transport is now more expensive. Also, people's energy bills, electricity and gas, everything is going up in price and we are all feeling it.
Basically, wages aren't keeping up with the increased cost of living, and this is having loads of knock-on effects. You might have heard that there were severe rail strikes across the UK recently. Loads of trains have been cancelled because rail staff are striking. They are not happy with the 2% wage increase when compared to the 9+% increase in the cost of living. In 1973 and 1974, people came out in droves, complaining that their pay was not going up fast enough. Inflation was high, and they felt that their pay should go up further. They were seeing that they'd have to pay more for the goods that they wanted, and they were not prepared to put up with standard annual pay rises, which were very low, 1 or 2%. So at the moment, the rail companies are saying, hang on a minute, inflation is really high, much higher than usual. We need a higher pay rise. The same will probably happen in aviation, NHS staff, all the services. They may all say they want their pay to reflect the fact that everything is costing more. But there's a problem with that, which is that if everyone is given the extra pay rises, they will be more likely to pay a high price for their goods, and this is called fueling inflation. To stop this, the government is likely to try and stop the pay rise requests. Then eventually no one will be able to pay the higher prices, and anyone selling a product will be forced to reduce their prices because consumer demand is not there. This is what happened with Margaret Thatcher in the 1980s. She refused to give in to the demands of those who were on strike. There's very famous cases where the state became in conflict with the people, such as the Battle of Orgreave. The National Union of Mine Workers under Arthur Scargill refused to continue to work, and there was civil unrest, but luckily no deaths. The National Union of Coal Workers were saying they needed better pay conditions, which was quite reasonable. This is also what currently the rail union workers are saying. They're saying their salary doesn't pay for basic essentials. So the situation is looking similar to 1973, which is called the Winter of Discontent. Discontent is like 不满意. The coal workers then refused to dig up the coal, and there was not enough electricity. There were blackouts, and people were very annoyed. Some people think it's possible we'll have blackouts here in the UK this winter. In October, energy bills for typical use will rise to £3,250, which is over a third of the state pension. 10 million people will be in real poverty, and they'll have to keep their heating off. The outcome, the resolution, will probably be somewhere halfway. People will receive some percentage increase in wages, and hopefully things will level out. The balance between supply and demand should settle down. To give you an example, already people are not using their car as much. People are finding different ways to cut back and save money, like 消费降级. In terms of how to save money, of course, people in the UK love a bargain, but there's also a clever thing called cashback. So how are things looking where you are? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I really don't want the camera to run out of battery because it ruins my life. Elegant. Oh god. Ah! Did I just get petrol all over myself? I don't know.
I'm sure
you go first then.
Okay, sorry. £3 with a club card, but it has risen to £3.50.
Yeah.
I like to eat eggs, and also I think I said
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Make sure to like and subscribe.
love it.